6 episodes. We build components, we build dialogues, we build templates, and every single time one thing happened that we never explained, we typed a URL. AEM send back HTML. Today we open that up. Look at how much we have been taking on trust. In episode 4, we made a folder called card, put a file called card.html in it, and a card appeared on the page. Nobody told AEM where that file was. In episode 5, we built a dialog, a node called CQ:dialog inside the same folder. We clicked configure and it opened. We never connected the two. And in episode 6, our page component had no page.html at all, two small files, and every page still rendered a full HTML document. Three things, one engine behind all of them. It is called resource resolution and it belongs to Apache Sling. One idea makes all of this click. Resolution is two steps, not one. Step 1, URL to resource. Sling takes the path and finds a node. Step 2, resource to script. Now it asks a different question. Which file renders this node? Step 1 has one rule. Step 2 has several, and step 2 is where people get stuck. This is a sample URL for AEM /content aim inside a USEN first component. This is called the path. This will be used to find the resource. Summary. This is called a selector. This will be used to identify what script we need to run. You can have more than one, for example, .summary.print HTML. This specifies the output format or rendering type. /abc. This is the suffix, additional information passed to the script after the resource is resolved. Debug equals to. This is the query string, optional parameters available through the request object and they can be used by your script. Path is used to find the resource. Selectors and extensions decide what script to run. Suffix and query string will be used by the script while loading the page. This is our first component page. Open this in WCM mode disable. Copy the path from here. Go to CRXDE. Paste it here. And this is your page. Now inside JSR content, I will find out where is my card component. Okay, this is my card component. Now copy this path. Open localhost 4502, paste the path and click .html. I am not going to open the page. I am going to explain through our card component. In this URL, this is called path. Copy this path. When you search it inside CRXDE, you will find a node. We will call this as resource as well. You will find a resource. And from the resource, search for Sling resource type property. Copy this path. Go here. Paste apps / paste it and click enter. This is the card component that we are rendering. Now, in the URL, I am going to add .summary. Summary is called selector and click enter. And I get exactly the same card. There is no summary script in our card component. So, Sling looked for one, did not find it, dropped the selector and used the card.html instead. As unmatched selector is not an error, it is slightly ignored. Your URL looks like it is doing something, but actually it is not doing anything. Now add a suffix /abc. Same cut. The suffix resolve nothing. Now remove the selectors, suffix and extension. This is our selector and this is our extension. This is our suffix. Click enter. And with no extension at all, you will get forbidden message. No extension means no file name to look for. Step 2. Sling has the node. It reads Sling colon resource type property of the node, which leads to AEM insider slash component slash card, and that gives it a folder. We will call this folder component. Notice that resource type has no slash at the front. It is a relative path. Relative to what I will come back to later. Now, which file in that folder? Sling has a list of names it tries in order and takes the first one that exists, 5 of them. Selector plus extension summary.html.html. Best match selector summary.html extension html.html. Node name card.html. Method get.html. Worst match. Two things about that list. The node name at number 4 is the component's node name, the folder under slash apps, not the node on your page. Our component folder is called card, so the file is card.html. And look where it sits, fourth. The file you have been writing since episode 4 is almost the last thing Sling tries. It only ever wins because nothing above it exists. Most specific wins. That is the entire rule, and everything else today is a consequence of it. Now, inside card component, I am going to create these files. Okay, I have created all the files. Now, when I hit card.summary.html, I am loading summary.html.html. Let's try to understand. First, we are going to find path. Copy this path, paste it here, and this is your path. Here you will be having your resource. From the path, you are going to have resource type. Copy this path, go inside apps slash, and this is your resource type. Inside your card component, you have 5 files. Based on the URL, Sling is going to pick one file from these 5 files. Now, in the previous discussion, we discussed if the URL have something like this, it is going to pick summary.html.html file. That is why you are seeing selector.extension.html, which is present inside summary.html.html. Now let's delete this file, save it and refresh. Now you will see selector.html, which is summary.html. This is our summary.html. Now delete this file, save it and refresh. Now you are seeing html.html, which is this one. Now delete this file, save it. Now refresh. This time it actually loaded your card.html. Position 4. That is the file we have been writing since episode 4. It is fourth from the top. It only ever wins because nothing above is present. Now let's rename our card.html. Save it. Now when I refresh it, you are seeing get.html, the HTTP method, the worst match on the list, and it only gets a turn when there is nothing else at all. Now delete get.html, rename our card off to card. Now when I refresh, it will again loads our card.html. 5 names, one URL that never changed, and the answer walked all the way down the list. Sling colon resource type says, this is what I am. Sling colon resource super type says, and this is what I extend. When Sling needs a file and your component does not have it, it follows the super type and asks the parent. If the parent does not have it either, it asks the parent's parent. It keeps walking up until it finds the file. In a minute, I am going to build a second teaser wide, and point it at the teaser we built in episode 5. It will have no script of its own and no dialog of its own. It will still render and its dialog will still open. All from this one property. And it is not only our code. Our page component does the same thing 3 levels deep. We will come back to it once we have the last piece. Now inside EM, I am going to create one more page using content page template. My title going to be Sling Resource Resolution. Click open. Now here I am going to add our teaser component, and let's configure this. Before configure it, in episode 5, we have configured character limit for our title field. Let's remove that. Now refresh the page, configure it again. Click done. Now inside teaser component, let me rename teaser.html. Save it. Now when I refresh my page, I am not seeing my teaser component here because in teaser component our teaser.html file is not available. That is the reason you are not seeing teaser component. Let me revert it back. Now refresh the page. It will revert back our teaser component. Now I am going to create one more version of teaser component, teaser wide. Go to components, right click, create node, CQ component, teaser wide. Click OK and save it. Now add JSA title and add one more property called Sling Resource Super Type, and its value going to be our teaser component path. Copy this, go here, paste it here, and remove /app/. Save it. Now let's add a component group. I'm going to use same component group. Save it. Here I am going to add our teaser wide component. Now when I click here, I will be able to see configure icon. When I click configure button, I am seeing my dialog here. Let's configure with the same values. Title, Sling resource resolution. This is description, CTA config, label, link to CTA, show CTA, and style is default. Click done. Now let's try to understand what is happening. So when I added teaser white component, inside teaser white, I don't have any teaser white.html or CQ colon dialog. Still, it is rendering our component dialog as well as script. This is because of Sling resource supertype property. Here, the property value is our teaser component. So Sling first verify does this component has teaser-white.html or not. If it is not available, then it will pick Sling resource supertype of the component and search for teaser.html from that file, not teaser-white.html, and renders teaser.html. Similarly for the dialog, it does not have CQ colon dialog. In that case, it will go to Sling resource supertype, which is teaser, and finds CQ colon dialog and load it from there. Now, let's create teaser white.html. Save it. Let's add some HTML into it. This is the HTML I have added. Let's refresh our page. Now you are seeing different markup for teaser white component. When I click configure, you are seeing the dialog. This is again coming from our teaser component. Same dialog, same content. One file written, everything else inherited. Real components are not one file. They split themselves up. So let me add a shared piece. In teaser white component, I am going to create a new file called badge.html. Save it. Inside badge.html, I am going to add HTML for blue badge. This is the HTML I have added. Now in teaser component, I am going to create same badge file, but this is for orange badge. This is orange badge. Now let's include our badge.html in teaser wide component. To include badge, we need to use following HTML code. Now let's refresh our page. Now as you can see inside our teaser wide component, a blue badge came. This is because we have included our badge.html and badge.html has blue badge. Now let's delete this badge.html and save it. Now refresh the page again. Now you are seeing orange badge. This is because Sling, when it is trying to load teaser white.html script, it came across badge.html. It will try to load badge.html from teaser white component. Since teaser white component does not have badge.html, it will check its resource supertype component, which is teaser. Inside teaser, I have badge.html. This badge is in orange color. That is the reason you are seeing orange badge here. And that is the rule. Anything a component asks for, it looks for up the chain. Its script, its dialog, a file it includes. Back to the thing I left hanging, the resource type is relative to what? To a list called the search paths. On this instance, it is exactly two entries, and this is the real configuration value. First slash apps, then slash libs. So take our card, its resource type is insider slash component slash card. Sling puts that on the end of slash apps and looks there first. Finds it, stops. If it did not find it, it would try slash libs. Slash apps is your project. Slash libs is Adobe's. Your code is checked first. And that has a name. Putting your own file at the same path under slash apps so it wins over Adobe's is called an overlay. You will hear that word in every AEM project you ever join. Same idea as the badge, different list. Let's add card component in our page. Now copy the path search for this component in the repository. The Sling resource type is AEM Insider Components card. This is the relative path to our component. If we add slash apps, that will be our component actual path. Paste your resource type, and this is our card component actual path. Now let's create a second copy of card component inside libs. We are going to follow the same structure, AEM Insider Components card, but we are going to create inside libs, not in apps. Before we create anything inside libs, let's understand we should never ever make any changes inside our libs folder. Libs belongs to Adobe. It gets replaced on upgrade, and anything you left there will disappear. I am going it so you can see the search path, and I will delete it before we finish. Now go to libs, right click, create folder, AEM Insider. Inside that we are going to create our components folder, save it, and then copy the card component and paste it here. Now we have a duplicate of card component. Let's rename this card component to card off and save it. When I refresh the page, I am still seeing my card component here, because when this page is rendering, Sling try to get this card component by using Sling resource type property. Currently, Sling resource type property value is AEM Insider Components card. So Sling first search for slash apps slash resource type value, enter. If this path does not exist, Sling will replace slash apps with slash libs and renders it from there. Because of that, we are still seeing our card component, even though card component is not available inside apps folder. Now let me rename card of back to card. Save it. This time the card component is loading from apps folder. Let's do one thing. Let's create badge.html file in both card components. Create file badge.html, save it, and inside badge.html I am going to create a yellow color badge. This is the HTML for badge. Now let's include this badge into our card.html. Save it. Now let's refresh our page. As you can see, I am getting a yellow color badge. Now let's create one more badge inside libs. This is the HTML for libs badge. It is in green color. Now let's refresh our page again. We are still seeing yellow color badge. Now go back to our apps component and rename our badge to badge off and save it. Now refresh it again. Now you are seeing green color badge. What is happening here? So when Sling is trying to load our card component, it came across badge.html. So it will search for badge.html inside our card component. In card component, I don't have badge.html. Then it will go inside libs folder and search for that. Inside libs, I have badge.html. Now Sling will load badge script from libs folder. And this happens per file. Every file a component asks for goes through this list on its own. This is called Sling overlay. Let's delete the component from libs and revert our badge off to badge. Save it. Refresh. You will be seeing yellow card. So overlay when you genuinely have to. The rest of the time extend it with the super type instead. Then you own one small file, not somebody else's whole component. One slide on our own page component because episode 6 left a question open about it. Here it is. The whole thing, a .content.xml file which is just the properties, and the property that matters is sling resource super type pointing at Adobe's core page component, then two small files, custom header libs and custom footer libs. That is it. There is no page.html. The one file you would expect is not here, and yet every page on our site renders a complete HTML document. You already know why. Sling looks in this folder, finds no page script, follows the super type, and finds page.html in the parent. Exactly the walk we just did with the badge file on a component we did not write. And it does not stop at one parent. Adobe's core page component has a super type of its own, basic page, in /libs. So our page is 3 levels deep, our component, Adobe's core page, and basic page underneath it. Sling will walk the whole chain if it has to. And page.html is short. It writes the opening HTML tag, then includes the file sitting beside it, head.html for the head, body.html for the body. So what are our two files for? They are hooks. The parent includes them deliberately at two exact spots. Custom header leaves lands inside the head tag. Custom footer leaves lands just before the closing body tag. Two files of our own. A whole page renderer inherited, and two places to plug our own things in, which is exactly where client libs will go. Here is everything we did today in the order Sling does it. 1. Take the path and find a node. 2. Now read the resource type of it. 3. Look under /apps first, then /libs. 4. Match the most specific file name, the selector first, then the extension, then the node name, then the method. 5. Nothing there? Follow the super type and do 3 and 4 again in the parent. 6. Keep walking up until you run out of parents. Most specific wins /apps bis /libs children beat parents. That is the whole engine. That is Sling resource resolution. Find the resource, then find the script. Look at what stopped being mysterious. Card.html was found by name. Our dialog opened because a dialog is resolved exactly like a script. Our page component renders a full page because it inherits 6 episodes of It Just Worked explained by one engine. So what is next? Twice now I have promised you client keeps, and today we found the doorway. Custom header leaves.html, the file in our page component that lands inside the head tag. Next episode we put something real in there. Client libs, how CSS and JavaScript actually reach an EM page. Categories, dependencies, embedding, and why the URL has that long hash in it. If this series is helping you, subscribe and drop a comment. I read all of them. This was AEM Insider. See you in the next one.